If you have a lot of meetings every week, you probably know the problem. The meeting itself isn't necessarily the hard part. The hard part is everything that happens after that meeting. You finish the call, you have a bunch of things you were supposed to remember, someone asks you to send something, someone else wants update, and then you have to somehow turn an hour-long conversation into something you can actually use. So today I'm testing Granola, which is AI notepad designed specifically for meetings. And instead of just showing you what the website says it can do, I'm going to actually use it in a realistic workflow. So let's say I'm having a meeting with a potential client. We're talking about YouTube project. They want to grow their channel, they have a few problems with their current content, and they want to improve thumbnails, and also they want us to create a content strategy for the next month. Normally during a meetings like this, I'm trying to listen, talk, remember everything they're saying, and take notes at the same time. And that's where I usually miss things. So this is where Granola comes in. I've got Granola running on my computer, and one thing that's immediately different compared with a lot of AI meeting tools is that there isn't a bot joining the meeting. It doesn't appear as another person inside Zoom or Google Meet call. Granola works in a background using the computer audio, so I can stay inside meeting. Normally, it works with a Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, and other meeting setups, and it can be also used for in-person conversation through mobile apps. So let's actually start the meeting. During this conversation, I don't want to write down every single word. I can just focus on the conversation, but let's say the client tells me something important. For example, we're getting views, but our click-through rate is low and we think the thumbnails are the biggest problem. I might just write a quick note, thumbnail CTR is the biggest problem, and that's it. I don't need to write a perfect sentence, I don't need to create a full transcript. I'm basically giving Granola a little bit of context about what's important to me. And that's actually one of the things I like about this concept, because Granola isn't trying to completely replace your note, it uses what you write together with a meeting context to create much cleaner notes after the meeting. So let's say we continue this conversation and the client says they want 3 videos per week. They want the first video to focus on AI tools, they want their thumbnails redesigned, and they want the first batch ready by September 1st. Normally at this point I'm probably writing all of these down manually. With Granola, I can stay focused on the conversation, and now let's end this meeting, and this is where the interesting part starts. Once the meeting is finished, Granola takes the conversation context and my notes turn them into structured meeting notes. And instead of having a messy page with the random sentences, I now have something much more organized. I can see what was discussed, what decisions were made, and what action needs to happen next. Another nice thing is that there's a basic option all through. The current free plan has a 30-day meeting history window. Paid plans extend the history and add additional integration and capabilities. So if you're just curious about whether this type of workflow is useful, you can start without immediately committing a paid plan. And the biggest question for me is whether this is actually better than simply recording a meeting and putting transcript into ChatGPT. I think the answer is the workflow. So instead of thinking about Granola as an AI that takes notes for me, I think of it more like a searchable memory for my work conversation, and that's the probably biggest reason I would use it. If you have one meeting every few weeks, you probably don't need something like this, but if you're constantly on Zoom calls, client calls, sales calls, team meetings, interviews, or project meeting, this amount of information you accumulate becomes huge. And the problem isn't remembering that a meeting happened, the problem is remembering exactly what was said, what was promised, what was decided, and what you need to do next. So if you want to learn more about this project, all important links will be provided down below. Make sure to check them out. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.